In the aftermath of World War I, the Treaty of Sèvres was meant to officially conclude the war between the Ottoman Empire and the Entente powers, redrawing the borders of the Middle East in the process. Ironically, the signing of the peace treaty with the Ottoman Empire was like a declaration of war on the new Turkish nationalist government. The treaty would never be ratified, but even despite that, it would define the future of the Middle East, sadly dooming a big part of the region to instability and ethnic and religious tensions. Now let's review how the Treaty of Sèvres planned to redraw the borders of the Middle East, starting with the decolonization of the Ottoman Empire and moving to Anatolia itself. The Levant was to be split into British and French mandates according to the Sykes-Picot Agreement. The League of Nations mandate system played a significant part in the post-World War I settlement. The system influenced the post-colonial development and future of the decolonized territories. You can watch my video about the mandate system and the countries under it if you want to learn more. In the northern Levant, the nations of Syria and Lebanon were to be liberated and united under the French Mandate of Syria, which also included parts of modern-day Turkey. The mandate was mainly made up of Arabs, but it also included Kurdish, Jewish and Turkish minorities. Syrian nationalists aspired for independence and unity for the region, while France sought to maintain its control. This led to conflicts and uprisings, such as the Syrian Great Revolt from 1925 to 1927. In Lebanon, the French Mandate aimed to preserve the country's delicate religious balance between Christians and Muslims. Lebanon was eventually granted independence in 1943, and its unique political system based on sectarian representation was established. After years of struggle and negotiations, Syria too achieved its independence from France in 1946. The Mandate experience left a lasting impact on Syria's political landscape, influencing its subsequent history and relationship with regional and global powers. The southern part of the Levant was to be guided under the British Mandate of Palestine. The name originates from the Roman term to refer to the inhabitants of this area, and it is the predecessor to the name of the modern-day Palestine. The mandate included present-day Israel, Palestine, and parts of Jordan, and it was intended to prepare the region for self-governance. The British faced a complex situation in the mandate. Its implementation was fraught with challenges, notably the competing national interests of Jewish and Arab populations. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 had promised British support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, creating tensions and conflicts with the Arab majority. The Mandate period in Palestine witnessed the growth of Jewish immigration, Arab protests, and increasing unrest. Ultimately, these tensions would culminate in the Arab-Israeli conflict, which continues to shape the region's dynamics today. Unlike the Levant, Mesopotamia wasn't split according to the Sykes-Picot Agreement, and it all went to the UK. Iraq became a British mandate, and Kuwait was already under British influence. In Iraq, the British mandate aimed to establish a stable and self-sustaining nation. However, the diverse ethnic and religious makeup of Iraq, including Arabs, Kurds, and Assyrians, presented a significant challenge. The Mandate administration faced resistance and revolts, particularly in the Kurdish regions. Despite these difficulties, Iraq achieved independence in 1932, marking the end of the Mandate period. Nevertheless, Iraq's subsequent history was marked by periods of instability, including coups and conflicts, particularly stemming from the legacy of the Mandate system and the artificial borders imposed by the colonial powers. The British and French mandates in the Middle East, established as a result of the Treaty of Sèvres, left a profound and enduring impact on the region. They shaped the boundaries and political structure of several modern Middle Eastern nations and contributed to complex and often violent geopolitical relations in the decades that followed. In the Arab Peninsula, the treaty carved up territories that had been loosely united under Ottoman rule. However, the reality on the ground was quite different. Sharif Hussein, who had played a pivotal role in the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire. The kingdom's capital would be the holy city of Mecca, and it was seen as a symbol of Arab independence and a potential unifying force for the Arab Peninsula. However, its sovereignty was short-lived, as it faced challenges from within and without. In Arabia, the House of Saud, led by Abdulaziz ibn Saud, embarked on a series of expansions known as the Najd Expansions. They aimed to unify various tribes and regions under their rule, effectively challenging the borders imposed by the treaty. The expansions marked the emergence of the Kingdom of Najd and Hejaz, the predecessor to the modern-day Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, with Abdulaziz ibn Saud as the first monarch of the Saudi dynasty. The conquest of Hejaz effectively dissolved the Arab kingdom, which had been recognized by the Treaty of Sèvres. Saudi Arabia's rise as a dominant regional power was categorized by the consolidation of authority under the House of Saud. The Saudi expansion in the North tribes saw the establishment of an official border in the region. The agreed-upon border now shapes the modern-day borders of Jordan and Iraq. The Saudi monarchy would adopt a strict interpretation of Sunni Islam, known as Wahhabism, which has played a significant role in shaping the country's culture and politics. Meanwhile, in Asia Minor, the treaty dramatically altered the borders, dismantled the Ottoman Empire's core territories. The Kurdish regions were supposed to hold a plebiscite in the future on whether they should stay with Turkey or become an independent state. The Kurdish zone was to be split between British and French administration until the plebiscite. Sympathies for Armenia were high at the time, and the treaty aimed to establish a strong Armenian state that could stand their ground against Turkey and Russia. That's why Armenia was given a big part of the empire, including the provinces of Erzurum, Bitlis, Van, and Trabzon. The province of Smyrna, modern-day Izmir, was to be put under Greek administration and hold a plebiscite in the future to determine if they were to be part of Greece or Turkey. The Greek border was also to expand into western Thrace. An international, demilitarized zone was to be established around the straits of the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles. This would satisfy the British goal of controlling the trade through the region. The southern part of Anatolia was to be split between French and Italian influence. France had ambitions to influence Turkey's economy in the future. On the other hand, Italy was rather weak in their commitments in Asia Minor. But the de facto situation was much different than what the treaty intended. During the formulation of the treaty, there was already a war between Greece and Turkey, and its signing only served to escalate it. The following Turkish War of Independence weakened the Allies' resolve to enforce their demands. And even if they had tried, the forces they had in the region were insufficient to defeat the Turkish nationalists. The Treaty of Sèvres was ultimately doomed to fail, and in 1923 the Treaty of Lausanne emerged as its successor. The Treaty of Lausanne, signed in Switzerland, marked a new chapter. It recognized the Republic of Turkey and abolished the Ottoman Sultanate. The motivations of the participants had shifted, with a focus on stabilizing the region and realizing the reality on the ground. In the end, the Treaty of Sèvres and the subsequent Treaty of Lausanne underscored the complexities of post-World War I diplomacy and the enduring impact of these agreements on the Middle East and Asia Minor.